Yo, what's good guys? So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys the best competitive settings or just the best graphic settings for the smoothest possible experience in Fortnite. But yeah, I hope you guys do enjoy the video, so without further ado, let's get right on into it. Alright guys, so I am going to say that if any of y'all did watch my stretch res video, or if you guys just have stretch res in general, what you guys want to do is make sure read only is unchecked, and then you guys can change any of the settings in here, and then after you guys do change every single setting in here that you guys want for the best comp settings, you guys are going to want to go back into the game files and check mark it again, and just make sure you guys do that so that way it saves everything. Alright, so that's what you guys are going to want to do. Alright guys, now the first thing I'm going to recommend is for window mode. You guys are going to want to play on full screen, and the reason why for this is because anything in the background on Windows, so say like icons or anything like that, text or anything, is going to be rendered. Okay, now in full screen, Windows is going to not render it, and the game also knows not to render it. Okay, so that's what you guys are going to want to do. If you guys do have to play on anything else, I'd say probably play on window full screen if you guys have to, but I would recommend playing full screen just because it gives you the best possible FPS and best possible input delay. So yeah. So next, for resolution, you guys want to play on 1920 by 1080, 16 by 9, or just your resolution, you know, whatever you guys are on. So obviously, you know, 4K or anything like that, you guys want to just put it on the max resolution that you guys have. Okay, so next, for frame limit, you guys can really mess around with this. If you guys are on 144 FPS or 240 FPS, just keep it at 240. Okay, if you guys are 240, keep on 240, or higher if you want, it doesn't matter. Okay, but for 144, I'd recommend keeping it a little bit higher or a lot higher. Okay, so if you have 144, you can keep it at like maybe 165, 180, or 200, like whatever feels the best for you is what you want to put it on. Okay, but for me, I keep it at 240 even though I'm on a 144 hertz monitor, because for me it just really helps with input delay, and it helps with it just, I don't know, it just feels really smooth. Okay, so that's the reason why I keep it on 240, because it feels really good. Okay, so for brightness, you're going to want to keep this at 100%, and the reason for that is because you want your game to look pretty bright, because you know you want to be able to see everything, because on console, as you know, you can't really see because of how dark the game looks, especially with all the shadows and everything. Just going across the screen doesn't help, so that's why you guys want to keep it 100. User interface contrast, you can just keep that all the way low, it doesn't really matter at all. So colorblind mode, try to note 3 is what I'd recommend. It just, yet again, it just kind of ups the brightness and makes the game really just colorful and just super bright, which I like, and I think it's the best. But you guys remember, if you want to change any of this, it's completely fine. Okay, but it's for me what I think is the best. So for 3D resolution, you guys want to keep this at 100. And if you guys do have a really low end computer, you guys can lower this to maybe 90% or 85%. Your game's gonna look a lot worse just because 3D resolution is basically everything around you. So, and if you lower the resolution of that, it's going to look a lot worse. And for view distance, you guys can keep this at near, and view distance kind of doesn't matter because people load in at the same amount of view distance as everyone else. So if you guys play on you know, PS4 or anything like that, you guys are going to be rendering at the same amount as PC players. Okay, so the only thing view distance does change is like how far guns render in, how far I think trees render in. Like everything else renders in at how far you put it. Okay, but the main things, that doesn't really matter. So textures, you guys can keep this at low. Yet again, if you're playing on performance mode, especially low meshes, textures doesn't matter. Okay, you're already on low meshes, so there's no point. And for meshes, I'd recommend playing on low, but if you guys don't like the fact that you can't really see through builds, or you can't really see, if you guys do have any problems with it, just go to high. Okay, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It does make a bit of a difference, but not too much. Okay, so you guys can do that. So VSync, I'd keep off, but if you guys don't have any sort of sync and you guys do want some sort of sync, you can turn it on, but it does cause a lot of input delay. So if you guys do have any problems with input delay and you guys do have this on, do make sure to turn it off. Okay, so show FPS, I'd have this on. You know, it shows you what kind of FPS you're getting. Rendering mode, okay, so this is a big one. I'd recommend performance mode. Performance mode's obviously the best rendering mode. The reason why is because it takes, like, if you have a really low end computer, you guys are really gonna love this. Okay, this is gonna give you the maximum FPS possible. So DX11 and DX12 are probably the hardest to run. DX12 especially is hard to run because it's newer. DirectX 11 is obviously a little bit less harder to run because it's more optimized for, you know, all the computers, well, all computers. And yeah, that's what you guys are gonna want to do. These are the best settings that I think are for comp, or just if you guys do play in general. But yeah. Alright guys, now another thing that I will say is replays. You guys want to make sure that you do have all three of these off. Okay, so basically what replays does is it literally records everything in the background that's happening. So say if you're playing in a very intense fight, it's going to be recording in the background and saving it to your hard drive or SSD, you know, whatever you have. And you guys really don't want that because it's going to really lower FPS, especially if you're recording in the background. And but yeah, so just turn all three of these off, and yeah, that's all you guys want to do for that. Alright guys, now one last thing that you guys can do is you guys can turn off subtitles. You guys can come over here and you guys just want to make sure that you do have subtitles off. Okay, now this is going to make your FPS a little bit higher. You know, this is really just for any small thing that you guys can get to increase FPS in Fortnite. You know, just the best competitive settings, because when you're in those really stacked end games, you want to have anything you can get to get higher FPS. Okay, so you guys can do that. Also, sound quality, if you guys want, you can put this to low. It doesn't really matter, but if you guys are on a really bad computer, that's what you guys can put this to low. Okay, and that's the last thing that all you guys got to do in Fortnite to get the best comp settings. But yeah guys, it is the end of the video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Do make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys are new, because most lucky you guys are, and you guys can unsub at any time. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and do make sure to take care, and do make sure to have a great rest of your day / night or wherever you guys are. And yeah, peace out.